good, y'all?
What's up?
Uh, this is this gonna be the first video of our new channel, and we just at the edge of my bed in my room. Me,
Yeah, I'm Eric.
I'm Dominic Alexander, and we just finna talk. So basically, me and Eric, we have like a lot of conversations with each other about like women, men, our habits, uh, just controversial conversations, not between me and him, but like just this day and age and like stuff girls our age or men our age go through, just women in general or men in general. So
hmm
we thought to just start recording it and see if y'all can relate to it. So basically, like I said, I'm Dominic, this is Eric, and we not gonna promise how many no amount of videos during the week and
Yeah,
nothing like that. But we just when we got the time, gonna record, talk about different topics that we want to talk about, get each other's opinion on it, and then post it, show y'all. So something we was talking about earlier. We talked about a couple of things earlier, but uh, one of the topics we were talking about is expecting the worst with stuff, and like I know that sounds kind of crazy. Like, why would you expect the worst of anything? But like there's multiple different reasons. One of my reasons is I like to save myself the disappointment. And I know a lot of people say, well, if you expect the worst, that's probably what's gonna happen. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I don't want to say expect the worst, but don't be surprised if the worst happens. I'll word it like that. So the reason I think like that is because one, I don't like disappointment. I don't like feeling it. And when I have it in my mind that there's a great possibility that the worst outcome can happen, when it happens, then I'm not, oh, what do I do? I'm not surprised or anything like that. Also, when the situation or outcome turns out how you want it to turn out, it feels a lot better when you knew there was a great chance of it being the opposite way. It might sound unhealthy to think that way, but that's just how I look at it.
yeah. I mean, same shit, man. Yeah, I agree.
And it's like another thing too, and that's not just with like girls or anything like that. That's in general. Like when I'm going through something or I'm dealing with something or anything I'm doing, waiting on an outcome or anything like that. I don't want to say expect the worst. I don't think I should have worded it like that. I should have said like don't be surprised with
Yeah,
anything, no matter what the outcome
yeah,
is. Never be surprised with it because like I said, that's where disappointment comes from. And a lot of people don't know what to do when they get disappointed. And when things don't go their way, they don't know how to act either. That's why I feel like it's
yeah,
really good, especially we're 21 years old. We're younger, of course, but that's why I feel like it's healthy to have that open mindset of this could either go really good, could either go really bad.
yeah. G, you saying it? You saying
Yeah.
everything right? I agree with everything you saying, man. But yeah, I mean, I would always assume the word just because I just how I was taught. But I didn't always. I used to always assume the best, and then I would over assume,
Yeah.
and my expectations were too high for some people to meet them. So
When things didn't happen the way you wanted them to,
yeah, it
it
would
led to
really mess me up.
yeah, and lead to disappointment. And luckily, like you knew what to do in that situation and how to handle it. But
Yeah,
some people, that's why I'm telling y'all, a lot of people don't know. Like a lot of people don't know how to handle or what to do in situations like that. And even Eric, maybe when he was going through it, he didn't know what to do. I know I done been put in a couple of situations where it's like I expected something, it didn't go my way. I ain't gonna say I I was like acting out of control. I wouldn't say that, but I was just like, damn, what am I supposed to do, basically? And that's just one thing. I don't I'm never surprised if the outcome isn't in my favor or in my way because I know I have there will be a million other outcomes that might go my way and they might not. I mean, it's just life. You gotta take things how they are and continue to keep moving. That's another thing. Another topic me and Eric were talking about. We're having a conversation about just like past relationships we've been in and how things have turned out, things I've done wrong, things he's done wrong, things that have happened to us, and like at the end of the day, we came down to the point of really no matter what happens, we got to continue to move forward.
Yeah,
So
got to.
that's kind of where the first topic came from of not expecting the worst, but being okay with the outcome not going in your favor because whether it does or it doesn't, you got to continue to move forward. You can't stop. You can't go backwards, and you can't change
Yeah,
everything too. And my problem, he's probably better at it than me. It's hard for me to let go of the past, other
yeah,
people's past. It's just that's something that bothers me. Like seriously, I can't. I'm better at it now, but it's always been something I struggled with, whether it's a relationship or just in general. Like I I once somebody explains their past to me, I'll get to knowing. I'll start asking more and more and more and more when I shouldn't do that because you can't change the past. I shouldn't be worried about it in the
yeah,
first place.
yeah. You really can't. You really cannot change the past, and you really shouldn't dwell in it. You should always just move forward. And that past, boy.
Yeah,
Mm mm
see,
mm.
and that's what we were talking about. He was asking me a question. He was like, this past stuff, like relationship wise, like say I'm involved with a girl or whatever, does it bother me? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it bothers me. Like, don't get me wrong, but it just what I was explaining to Eric, say like, and this is coming from me, like I just told y'all, he's better at handling past, like girls past better than me. I'm not. I'm getting better at it now because of my situation or whatever. But like, or situations I've been put in. But like, what I was explaining to him was, he was like, "Gee, does that not still bother you? Like when you're with a girl and you know she's lied about her past or done something in her past that really affected you? Not affected me like she did it to me, but it bothers me knowing that's who she was before me." And I was like, yes, honestly, it still bothers me, but this is the way I started thinking about it that has helped me. So by the time I'm 20, by the time me and him are both 25 or 26 and we're with this woman or whatever, will we still look at it like, okay, damn, 4 or 5 years ago, she
Yeah,
really lied to me about this, or she told me this about her past and I ain't really messed with it. Dang, like, no, you're not going to be thinking about that no more because another thing we talked about too, time heals everything.
yeah,
So it in the present moment, yes, it's gonna bother you, but that you
yeah,
got to look at it the bigger picture. In a couple of years, say you want to be with that person, if that's who you really want to be with, it's not gonna still bother you. Y'all would be worried. Y'all so much would have done happened by then. Like it's not something you have to constantly worry about. And that's the mindset I've had to have to help me get past that problem of not being able to get past a girl's past. In my opinion, what did you do, G, that helped you when you was told something or a girl told you something about her past that you didn't necessarily like what are certain things you would do
I
to help
mean,
you?
if you're not gonna stand on it, don't say nothing. That's the best thing. If you ever have a problem with a girl and you really not gonna do nothing about it, there's really no point in complaining because
Yeah.
it's not gonna go nowhere. So my thing was like, let's say she had a bad past, and maybe I complain about it, but if I'm just gonna stay, there's really no point. So if you're not gonna accept her past, then you really shouldn't be. Probably be with her.
Yeah, and that's crazy that he's saying that because like my thing is like even like I've had two girlfriends, I've had two serious relationships. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, we're just gonna start talking to y'all like we're close
Yeah,
because
bro.
honestly, ain't no reason to sugarcoat anything. We're not gonna say names or nothing like that, but I've been in two relationships, two serious relationships, and I think I've I don't want to I don't I'm gonna take accountability for me. I don't want to talk about other people's actions. I can only talk about myself. But the biggest issue for me that I put on two people or my two relationships, I feel like was me being concerned too much about the past and like he said, if I was gonna stay and if I'm not gonna do nothing about it, why do I keep making it a problem? That just leads to toxicity. Like
Yeah,
I can say, oh, and this is the thing before, like younger me, freshman me, eighth grade me, like I said, we're both 21 now. I was like, that would never happen to me. If a girl did this, if a girl asked me about
yeah.
this, that, and the other, I would never do that. I wouldn't stay
Mhm.
and all this other stuff. When that's not the
Yeah,
case, like that's BS, honestly. And I would complain about the past and all of that, knowing I wasn't gonna leave, knowing I can't do nothing to change it, and
yeah,
knowing there's really nothing you can do. And like you said, you either accept it or quit talking about it.
yeah.
Like If you're gonna talk about it, leave. Don't stay with her. Because you gonna talk about it all day and still stay with her. You just causing more issues. So that's something I had bad. That's me telling y'all. I used to do that all the time, constantly make it an issue, knowing I'm gonna stay in the relationship. That if I'm gonna stay in the relationship, quit talking about it. I mean, and that's for anybody that has that similar issue. Like I went through the same thing. So only thing I would advise. I'm not ever gonna tell y'all what to do, but only thing I would advise is don't. Like he said, if y'all gonna complain about it, don't be with the person. Don't, or if you're gonna complain about it once or twice. Let them know how it made you feel and move on. If you're not gonna do that, then
I agree.
And I also agree with him on saying like the expectations. I saw this quote, or I saw this TikTok the other day. It was like this relatable post. It was like, I hate when people overpromise because you really could have not said anything.
Yes.
And it's crazy because it's like, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've probably had my times and moments where I've overpromised or said I was gonna do A, B, and C, and I didn't do none of it. Like I'm not gonna act like I'm perfect because I'm not, because I done did that before. But I can see how that makes people feel. You over promising, you will do this, that, and the other, and then when you don't deliver, like we were talking about earlier, disappointment and how they disappointed, and now you can't. As men, I can only speak for the men. You can't. We're supposed to be a man of our word. If we say we're gonna do something and then we don't do it, that doesn't. When you're with a woman or whatever, they can't trust you're gonna do what you say, and then that can also lead to them not trusting anything you say, which is never good, and it leads to more issues. So. I mean, yeah, saving yourself disappointment. Really, I just in my situations, I think I've been the one. This is me honestly speaking, that has promised that I've over promised a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you saying. Another thing is, one thing I learned, actually a couple of days ago, if you learn to keep your word to yourself, that will also help you build more confidence. If you can say something and stand on it every time and do it, you will build more confidence in that belief, and it'll be easier to do that in your other relationships and things that come up in your life.
And when he's talking about too, is it's just with little things. Like this morning, we went to the gym this morning, right? Last night I told Eric, I was like, bro, we did arms and shoulders today, right? So this morning I texted him. I was kind of laying in bed, right? I'm like, dang, like I have a lot of this. I want to say I had a lot of. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I don't know why I'm trying to sugarcoat it. I had a lot of sexual energy, y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all, right? So I was like, the longer I lay in this bed, it's gonna make it worse. Or I could use this energy and put it towards something else. So guess what I did? Texted Eric. We knew we were gonna go to the gym this morning, but this was like 7:45, a little bit before 8 o'clock. I was like, Are you up? He was like, yeah. I was like, get ready. And when I said get ready, I was hoping he would say, gee, give me a couple hours. That's me being honest. I was hoping he was gonna say that, but he said okay. And we went to the gym anyway, and it felt much better because we stuck to what we said we were gonna do, and I got to put that energy that I was telling y'all about towards something productive. And just that's what led to a lot of conversations. And I realized being able to do that when you have sexual energy, or even women, putting it towards something productive can like honestly help you in the long run, and it leads you to not doing stuff you probably shouldn't be doing too.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of men, when it comes to like social stuff going wrong, a lot of times they're probably just horny doing something they don't need to do, you know.
Yeah. And keeping like just promises to yourself, it becomes an issue, and this is gonna sound crazy. Yes, we're 21 years old, we're young, but honestly, like being a man, like he was saying, keeping your word to yourself helps you build confidence. This becomes a real issue when you start telling yourself you're gonna do something yourself, not even other people, and you don't end up doing it.
Yes.
And then you get used to it. Then when you get used to it, you're wondering why stuff ain't going your way and everything like that, because you didn't promise yourself all these things and you're not acting upon it. And one thing that's helped me with that, do I still have moments doing that? Yes, I'm not perfect, but
me too.
When I this thing that I'm gonna tell y'all that helps me with it is why not do it now? Like that's what I was saying earlier when we went to the gym. I was like, we can wait to go to the gym. Of course, we go to the gym 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why not go now? Like that's the thing. That's with anything. Say you wanna be an author, write a book. Say you
Yeah.
want to start a YouTube channel. Even this, like me and Eric have talked about doing a podcast and talking for years,
Months.
like
Oh my
for a long
goodness.
time. And today we were doing cardio at the end of the workout. We were like, why not? He was like, why don't we just do it today? I'm
Today
like,
is the day.
we ain't got nothing else to do. Like, why
Mhm.
not worrying about the results or
Yep.
anything like that. Just doing what we say we were gonna do and let things take care of themselves. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's just what it comes down to.
Absolutely.
Why do you think, G, more people today are like? Why do you think the men these days are becoming more feminine and the women are having to be more masculine? What do you think is the source of that? Like,
I
what do you, in
mean,
your opinion?
I think most men don't know. Nobody's teaching men how to handle or treat or deal with girls nowadays. Nobody taught me. I had to learn from TikToks, YouTubes.
Same with me.
Like I learned how to deal with girls during quarantine after the fact that I done got broke heart and all that. You feel me?
And that's the exact same
And which
thing
most people
with
go
me.
through.
Yeah.
Most people work out. Most people do that. I did my research.
Yeah, and he actually put me on. We both watched Steph is Cold. That's who really helped me through a
Yeah.
lot of, like when I was going through a breakup and stuff. My like this was freshman year or going into our sophomore year. It was COVID. Our
Yeah.
sophomore year in high school, and yeah, that's what me and Eric have both had to learn how to deal with. Like deal with stuff like that on our own. But get back to your point, you what you were trying to make.
Yeah. Nobody's teaching people, and also just confidence. Just pouring everywhere. Pouring is not making things no better. Uh, People just nervousness,
Yeah,
just confidence, man. That's really
and
all it is.
this is the thing too. Like dealing with women these days, it's you almost can't really get mad at the women. And this is me talking as a man myself. Like, what do you expect? Like, the things we've just talked about. Eric brought up a good point about men making promises to ourselves, like making many promises to ourselves in our head, and then
Hmm.
say we don't stick to it. We almost are kind of disrespecting ourselves in a way because
Yes.
as a man, you're supposed to be a man of your word, right?
Hmm.
So you say there's a lot of men these days that build that habit. Oh, I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. They never do it. Then they try to get involved in relationships, and now they're telling women, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other," and then they don't do it. A woman kind of loses respect for them, and when a woman loses respect for a man, I feel like that's the start of her becoming more masculine. Like you, I don't want to necessarily say a man disrespecting himself is feminine. That's not what I'm saying. But when a woman starts to lose respect for you, you're you already kind of set yourself up for that because you were making promises to yourself that you weren't even keeping. Now you're doing it with her. When she loses respect for you, she's gonna. When a woman loses respect for you, she starts to become more masculine.
Mm.
You kind of create that in a sense. And say you stay with her, both of y'all can't be masculine. So what is that? It to me, in my opinion, at least to the men, the man becoming more feminine, wanting to be took care of, wanting to be provided for. And I'm not the type of dude. I don't have a traditional way of thinking. In my head,
Yeah, me either.
it's not like the man's supposed to be the provider, this, that, and the other. I don't think like that. But what I do know is a male is supposed to be the protector of his woman, and I do believe like while you're young, I do believe in like the percentages. Like I like to go like 85-15 a little bit, something like that along those lines. Like not making her you pretty much paying for most of the stuff or whatever, but like as far as it, we can only speak from a 21-year-old standpoint. We're not in a position to provide completely for a woman and stuff like that, especially at our age. I mean, that's just not what we're in the headspace to do. So getting back to my point, you you as a man, you're still supposed to be something that a woman can respect and kind
Hmm.
of look up to. So,
Yes.
and that starts by keeping promises with yourself, and I think that's what leads to the feminine men and masculine women. Because I feel like a masculine woman is created by a man that doesn't respect himself, and like I said, two masculine people can't be in a relationship. So her being masculine is going to lead the men to being more feminine, wanting to be took care of, or I'm a mama's boy to heart, and my mama knows that. All the girls I've had relationships with know that. I love my granny to death too. So I was raised by all these women, in my life. My mama done did everything for me. If it wasn't my mama, it was my granny. If it wasn't my granny, it was my aunties. Like, I was raised like that. So I've had a lot of trouble growing up, kind of adjusting to not every woman is going to do everything by the snap of your finger. And it's not, I didn't, my dad wasn't really around, so I didn't have a prime example on how to be there for a woman, take care of a woman, and do things like that, let alone treat a woman. I had to learn through my mom or YouTube and stuff like that because I didn't have no examples. But trying to kind of unlearn that dominant, yes, your loved ones, your aunts, your mother, your parent, the women in your life, of course, they do everything for you. You don't have a dad, you can't. But I had to unlearn that the woman that I'm with, isn't gonna do all of that. Like, that's not what happens. So just getting adjusted to that and realizing I can be the one doing things for a woman and taking care of a woman and stuff like that. Not just because I'm with a woman and I grew up with women take care of me my whole life. Yeah, I don't expect that out of a relationship or with a woman that I'm with now. And it ain't been easy because at first I used to think, what can a girl provide for me?
Mm-hmm.
What can a woman do for me? I mean, I'm sure me and Eric both thought like that, but I'm at the point now, it's like, I more look at not what a woman can provide for me, but if she can help me and I help her get to we have an end goal. Can we help each other both get there? That's kind of how I look at like relationships and stuff now.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
You went in, didn't you?
Yeah, G. I got.
Yeah, that was good. I mean, that was good. I was good. I would say I'm a mama's boy too. I had my dad more than my mom, so I think that kind of really threw off my relationship with women about growing up. I really wish my dad would have took more time and teach me. I asked him. I never told you this, but I did ask my dad. I was like, "How do I find a woman not like my mama?" And he started laughing.
You just laughed?
Yeah.
Did he ever?
He never told me because we got off the subject. But I need to re-ask him. But yeah, another thing is some guys don't grow up with their father, so of course they wouldn't know how to treat women. So that's another thing. But me, I just had to. I mean, nobody really taught me. I just learned from YouTube. I never really knew that. I never even really knew that was a thing your daddy's supposed to teach you until I got older.
That's me and Eric both. So this is my thing. We're just gonna keep it real with y'all. I didn't have my father really like that, but my mom had a boyfriend, a very unhealthy boyfriend. We're also not gonna say no names of nobody, but he treated her terribly, and my mom kept staying. He would put his hands on her and stuff. So I'm like sixth grade till I probably got into like eighth grade, freshman year. She was with this dude, right? So I'm seeing this for years, every day. A man constantly yelling at my mama, putting his hands on her, mistreating her, and she's still staying. Mm-hmm. So me growing up seeing that, did I grow up like, okay, you treat a girl this way and she can't leave, she'll still stay? No, I didn't grow up thinking that. But what messed me up was I didn't have a good example. So I know I didn't take his toxic traits, but at the same time, I'm kind of like moving on my own, not knowing I didn't have a good example on how to treat it. I got shown the incorrect way, but I didn't get shown the correct way. So, like Eric said, I had to watch YouTube videos, and then it comes with trial and error too. I've been in relationships that didn't work. You kind of have to, you learn as you go too. I mean, you can always learn like that, of course, but neither one of us kind of had that prime example on this is how you treat a woman. I had the incorrect example. Mm-hmm. And girls or women that I've heard even still to this day, I don't use that as an excuse. I never had the example, but because at the end of the day, I'm a man, I know right from wrong. So how I treat a woman, no, I didn't have the best example and I was never shown. But at the end of the day, you do have to learn as you go. And that's not an excuse for kind of like a mistake you kept making over time, in my opinion. So it's not an excuse to me, but it's like, I can't use me never being shown the correct way as a escape route every time. Yeah. Like, well, I'll treat you this way because I was never taught. Come on, bro. I mean, at the end of the day, you know right from wrong, and you know how you want your mom to feel. You know how you want your sister to feel. So why not? You don't act like you don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, growing up, I was doing this shit I saw on the movies and the TVs. So, and you know that shit ain't work. So, but yeah, found out the hard way. I would say that, and I mean, I learned. I wouldn't, even though I wish my daddy and maybe a couple things growing up, I would have got taught, but I'm glad it happened the way it happened because the character development and I had to learn it on my own. It was all worth it at the end. Now I know now, so it really don't matter.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think another real genuine reason me and Eric wanted to do something like this is because, like we said, we watched Steph is Cold. He watched a bunch of other people too, but that's what helped us. So like, I don't want to say like our channel or this podcast or whatever, anything like that. It's necessarily for a specific group of people. We just know this is what helped us. So maybe there's a lot of people out there that have gone through similar things and never had that example. And we're two examples too. We haven't had it either. And the way we learned was by watching Steph is Cold give principles, share his experience, how he learned, how he went through stuff. And it gave us a better outlook on like, okay, like maybe we didn't necessarily need to the father figure example or to be shown and how a man is supposed to treat a woman through our dads. We can still learn on our own. It's not the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
End of the road basically is the point I'm trying to make. Like,
Yeah.
just because you don't have that doesn't mean you'll never learn, because we learn through YouTube. Honestly, probably through YouTube videos.
Yeah,
So
YouTube.
that's one of the other reasons we thought we've been wanting to do something like this for a long time, because honestly, it's what helped us too. Like watching Steph is Cold and all the a million other
Yeah,
people,
there's a lot
Mr.
of
Get
them.
Right, a whole bunch of other people. Like that's seriously what helped us, because we didn't have no example like that. And this is just male or female. It's not the end of the road. You can always become the person you want to be on your own, and you don't
Mhm.
necessarily always need the example. There's people out here like us you might relate to,
Yeah.
and you can listen to and pick our brain and learn off of our experiences, or just relate to us in general, and it might give you a different outlook on things. Like, I mean, that's just what it is. At the end of the day, everybody is a little different. Everybody thinks a little differently, but
Mhm.
I mean, you don't always need the example basically, and that's something we've both had to learn, and it's led to us being in toxic relationships or treating girls wrong or any stuff like that, and we can admit that now. But now, I mean, as we're 21 years old, as we're getting older, we want to learn. And yeah, so I mean, that's really it. There's guys, women, female, the women, men our age. I mean, 30 years old, way older than us, who
Yeah.
still don't grasp or understand it.
Yes.
And I would say for me and Eric's age, mentally, where we're at mentally, and I'm sure y'all didn't even, outside of me telling y'all, if y'all were just to hear us talk, y'all probably wouldn't have thought we were 21. I feel like we're very mature mentally. But I mean, yeah, it's really a lot. We could talk about it.
Yeah. Also, I want to add. What was I finna say? Um. Oh, learn to learn from your mistakes. I know everybody has TikTok. I know we all see all the relationship stuff that happens on TikTok every day. Know that you're not too special for that stuff to happen to you, and learn from people and all their mistakes. That's one thing I really have taken personally, is learning from my mistakes. I see people make a lot of mistakes and do not repeat it, man. You saw what happened when they did it. Don't think you're better than them or you're different that you can do it. That's one of my biggest problems. Like dealing with girls I had no business dealing with, but thinking, oh, I'm him. She's not gonna do that to me, and she did it to me. So
And that's exactly the point I was saying earlier. When you're young, you think, okay, that I know myself. I know what girls think of me that, and never in a million years will happen to me. Then when it happened, I'm looking like
yeah,
goofy, and that's the thing. Like he said, another about the TikTok thing too. Eric has a great point. Learning from your mistakes, even mistakes you learn on your own. Learn from your own mistakes too, not just from other people. Another
mm-hmm.
thing, the TikTok relationship thing. The issue I'm having with today is seeing all that stuff is cool or whatever, or like it can give you ideas. Like say me, you had a girlfriend or whatever, and we wanted to do something. We could look up on TikTok some sweet things to do. That's
Yeah.
cool and all. The point I'm finna make is the seeing these TikTok relationships and thinking they have it all peaches and cream, and then you're involved with somebody in real life, and it doesn't look like what you saw on TikTok, But what you have to realize, even at our age, people are only showing the good. They're not going to show the arguments and all of that. So you might not think you have this picture perfect TikTok relationship. You got to realize that picture perfect TikTok relationship ain't picture perfect. It's what is being portrayed. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, like social media, that's all really social media is. So never compare your relationship to how a relationship is on TikTok or social media, or say you laying in the bed with your girl, she see this dude spoiling his girlfriend and be like, must be nice. I mean, okay, say you never do nothing for her, it's kind of understandable. But say you have your ways of showing her, you do little stuff and it's like she's not noticing it and she
Mm-hmm.
wants what somebody else has. Them type of people, you kind of just gotta, you can have one conversation with them, let them know that's not, you don't like that and that's not what you're into. But if it never changes and they want to chase this social media TikTok picture perfect relationship that they will never receive because it's never picture perfect, then let them do that. Like Eric said,
Mm-hmm.
instead of complaining about something, have a conversation with somebody once or twice. If you know you're not gonna leave or you're not gonna change it, or you know if it bothers you, they keep doing it, you got two choices to make. You're either gonna stay or you're gonna go. If you're gonna stay, quit complaining about it.
Yeah. Comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And
And
that's
yeah.
social media in general. I don't think, not saying it's bad to like post your girl, show her off and stuff. I do think there should be a limit. In my opinion, can only speak for me. I do think there should be like a a bar. Yeah, I don't want to have social media too involved in my relationship or what I got going on,
Yeah.
because that's how that never ends well. Like regardless who you are, I even be feeling bad for celebrities because I know they got it tough, they got it rough.
Yeah.
Everybody, and then like you hear girls, you say you know how Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce G a
Yeah.
couple of times, and girls were like, girls, we have no hope. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. Beyonce could get cheated on. This, like, that's stuff I'm talking about. I don't
Yeah.
like that. Like, you
There's
gotta
billions
think
of
those
people
are
in the
still
world.
people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, those aren't, they're celebrities, yes, but saying, oh, if Mulatto or Ice Spice got cheated on, I know I have no hope. Like, come on, bro.
It's
Like,
not the
that's
end of the
not,
world.
yeah, like, you can't, that doesn't even make sense. It's not even fair to say, but I mean, just little stuff like that. I don't, you shouldn't, especially with us being young, getting in the practice of it now. Like I said, me nor Eric are perfect, but
Yeah.
practicing those habits now of not knowing a social media relationship or what you see on TikTok isn't everything that it seems, and getting in the practice of that, keeping your relationships and things to yourself too. I feel like I had a hard time doing that, and it led to issues that I didn't have to deal with. Keeping your relationship problems, especially a young relationship, keeping all y'all's issues and stuff in between y'all's relationship, not stepping out telling other people what's going on. Because Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback for the Jets, said this quote: "Never take criticism, never take advice or criticism from someone who's never been in your position."
Mm.
So don't ask nobody what they would do in a certain situation they never been in. They're not you. Keep that between your relationship, and then that also gives other people less fuel to create a fire with between you and your woman, or your you and your man, if you're a girl watching this. Like, keeping it just between y'all, and it feels so much better in the long run when y'all are both 67 years old laying in the bed together, knowing y'all worked through all y'all's problems, kept it in between y'all and made it through, and didn't have other people saying what they would do or talk about y'all's relationship. If it happens already while y'all are young, start getting into the changing y'all's ways to make sure it doesn't continue to happen, because it might have already happened to you. It's happened to me before. Like,
Mm-hmm.
only thing I can do now is move forward. So I mean,
Yeah. Another thing is that I feel like a lot of people have a problem is you have to realize there actually is a million fish in the sea. Like always there's another guy, there's another girl. Just be patient, it'll all come. And
yeah,
sometimes you just gotta work on yourself until you're worthy of something.
yeah,
Sometimes you're just not ready yet. You just gotta get to work.
yeah. And sometimes God will take something away from you to show you how you feel without having it, and kind of put you in a situation where you have to mentally, physically, and emotionally prepare yourself to where if he blesses you with it again, you don't make the same mistake. Like Eric
Yeah.
said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
don't learn from your mistakes, because you can pray, like you can literally pray about everything, but you continue to pray to God about something, and every time he blesses you with it, you continue to mess it up. Why would he keep blessing you with it? You know what I'm saying? That's just with anything. Like, if he blesses you with second chances, show that you're deserving of it by doing the right thing this time, or even third chances. Some people, you're not always gonna get it right in the first, second time. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Third, it might take 3, 4, 5 times for you to, but don't let it turn into 10, 11, 12, and all of that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, learn from your mistakes, and be, as to the males watching this, be man enough to know when you wrong, bro. It's something I used to be a very, very, very prideful person, and due to situations and relationships I've been in here recently, like being taking self accountability and putting my pride to the side and realizing like when I'm wrong, and just taking accountability and not trying to flip the script and do all of that. Like I'm, as a male, telling y'all today, I had a hard time when I messed up or everything was on me, trying to put it off on other people. Really, I was just trying to take attention off of myself, and that's just me being honest. And I feel like a lot of young people do that, like in general. But I don't know. I mean, life is really just a learning experience.
Yeah, man.
And you kind of got to choose who you want to go through that learning experience with. If we're talking about relationship wise, I mean,
sometimes you might have to just go at it alone. And there's nothing wrong with being alone.
yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being alone.
I do think though, there's nothing wrong with being alone, but I do think there is a person for. I'm not gonna say it's a specific person, but I do believe everybody can find somebody they're compatible with.
Yeah.
I'll word it like that. I'm not gonna say everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna let E finish on what he was saying about the being alone, and then we don't want to carry y'all on too long. So,
What was I even saying?
you were basically saying that that I think I was saying you being alone is good, because when you learn how to be alone, I think I branched on what you said. When you learn how to be alone, that's how you can learn how to be with somebody.
Oh
else.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, we hope y'all enjoyed the video.
Indeed.
This was long. I don't know how long it was,
Yeah,
but I know it was long enough to where y'all could get something to eat and just put the video on and watch it. But I'm not gonna tell y'all when the next video gonna be, because I don't want to promise y'all nothing. Like we just talked about in the video, I don't want to make promises and then I can't do it. But
Indeed.
hope y'all enjoyed the video.
Absolutely.
And we'll catch y'all next time.